Hey everyone, Randy here with Engineered Adapters. Are you considering installing the 4.5-inch Daymaker LED lights into your Voyager or Vaquero? Well, Engineered Adapters just made this job a lot easier. Stay tuned and we'll show you how to install our kit. Alright guys, let's jump right in. This is the Engineered Adapters Auxiliary Light Installation Kit. This is so that you can install 4.5-inch daymaker-style LED lights into your Voyager or Vaquero. Now, two things we need to go over immediately. One is if you own a Voyager, you already have the hardware mounting brackets already in the fairing. However, you Vaquero guys, since you have louvers in the fairing, you're first going to need to purchase the Kawasaki Auxiliary Light Kit. The second most important thing is you purchase your Daymaker lights, we need to make sure they're going to fit. And the critical dimension is going to be this thickness right here. Now, we haven't been able to test every single light, but we did have some beta testing done, and we did find there was at least one kit out there where this part is too thin and it had to be shimmed. So we want to make sure that's going to fit. So that's why we have the caliper sitting here. These are imperial. I know some of you guys will use metric. So we're measuring out at about 386 thousandths of an inch. That's in that spot. Now if you measure around here, you may actually get varying numbers. That's 384 to almost 383. And that's because these are die-cast aluminum. They're not precision machined. Even this light compared to this light, this thickness is off a little bit. I would say within 5 thou. And there is a little bit of variance that you can have and these lights will still work. If this is thicker, then you're still okay because you can simply shave material off the rings. If this is considerably thinner, there's a problem. There's only two solutions to that. One is you take the rings that we have and you shim them to make it work, or you return the Daymaker lights that you bought and find a pair that will fit. As time goes on and we're able to compile a list, we'll include that on the website so that you know what kits fit and what kits don't fit. We're going to look at the housing right here. Now whether you have the Voyager or you buy the Vaquero kit, the parts are the same. The finish may be different, but the idea is exactly the same. We need to take this apart because we're going to use these two, the bezel here and the housing. We're not going to use the light. Before we do that, we want to notice some indexing marks. This spot right here is 12 o'clock, and if you look on the back, these mounting holes, which are the same whether it's the left or right side, the mounting hole, it's not mirrored, it's the same pattern. Notice there's two screw holes that are close together and two that are far apart. The two that are closer together are 12 o'clock position. If you want to make sure that you don't forget, you can put a mark up here or a piece of tape, but this video will help you remember that that's 12 o'clock. So take this apart, there's three tabs. There's a locking tab at the 12 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 8 o'clock. They're not symmetrical, but that should give you an idea of where those are located. To take it apart, we're simply going to put a pry tool. You can use a screwdriver or whatever will fit in here. I happen to have a pick tool, and I'm going to push this back and you can see where it opens it up right there. So now I'm going to put my pick tool in there. I'm going to pop that back. There we go. It popped this one. It also popped the 8 o'clock one, but the 4 o'clock is still intact. So I'm going to come over to here. You may not see it on the video really clear, but I can see where the slot is right there when I look in. So I'm going to put my pry tool in there. I'm going to work that open right there. There's two parts. We're going to adjust this part momentarily. I'm going to set it to the side for right now. This part here you take apart. You simply twist it counterclockwise and it comes out. We're not going to do anything else with this part. We no longer need the screws that originally held this either. So you can take the screws and the two light buckets, put them in storage or whatever you want to do. We no longer need them for the kit and don't need to modify anything. Now the rings that come with your kit have some features that we want to take note of. The number one feature we want to note is this notch on the top. This is the 12 o'clock indexing slot, so you know where 12 o'clock is. There's also this indexing notch on the 9 o'clock position. That notch is going to fit this step right here. It'll fit right in there. Obviously you're going to make sure your lights aren't crooked. You're going to make sure they're straight. This indexing notch will make sure that happens. When you put this on, you want to make sure that that slot faces you, so it has to be faced to the back. You see it drop right in. You'll know you're home because these will be flats right here, these surfaces. That's the home position, make it fit. From this point, we're going to fit this back into this front bezel. So we have our 12 o'clock position notch there. We have our 12 o'clock slot here. We're going to line up the notch right there. So make sure that's seated in there pretty flat. Once you're sure that's the case, I'm going to go and just twist it into position. It's nice and snug, doesn't wiggle. That's done, that's ready to go. Now on the back cover, there's a little bit of modifications that we need to do. We need to get some tabs out of the way. Now they're not structural to the part, and if this is ever reversed for any reason, which it can be, this is completely reversible, these will not be missed. But what we need to do is put these speed nuts on these tabs right here in order to lock this into the brackets inside the fairing. But these little tabs right here are in the way. I'm just going to take a pair of pliers. In this case, I'm going to grab a hold of that tab and just twist it right off. Just like that. Second one. Now I'm going to take my chisel in, I'm going to put it against this back face right here, and I'm going to push that right on through that rib to cut it off there. Now what we don't want to cut is these side ribs, this one here and this one here, because those are structural to give support to this flat face here where the screws go. So cut out these four here, leave these two side gussets right here, do not cut those. So this is the end result, where you can see they're all smoothed off. We're going to take our speed nut. Notice the flange for the speed nuts on that side. Now we're ready to assemble our housing, and this will be the last step. So we want to make sure that we have our 12 o'clock position and our 12 o'clock position here. We want to line the tabs up, and we're going to push it together till it snaps. And I want you guys to hear how well this fits. Listen to this. That's it. That thing is solid. It's not coming apart. It can't twist. This light is ready to go back into your bike. Now when you guys go to hook this into the harness on the bike, you're going to notice there's these catches on the sides. There's one here and there's one on this side. Now it would appear that this should be the one that you would use because it's closer to the end, but if you notice when you go to put this in the bike harness, this one does not lock it in. Simply turn this 180 degrees, use this one right here. If you're still not confident about how tight it locks in, there's nothing wrong with throwing a piece of tape around this thing and holding it in nice and tight so it doesn't come loose. Now you guys that have the halo rings around the outside of these with the turn signals or that light up, the demon eyes or whatever, you're going to need, you'll probably have a different harness. You'll either have an additional plug to this, or you may need to cut this off in order to wire everything into the bike properly. Alright guys, thanks for hanging around. I thought I'd take a minute to show you what used to be involved in mounting these Daymaker style lights in your bikes. And what you had to do was extract this locking ring and these mounting points from this housing, which means you had to absolutely destroy this thing. You had to make a cut here all the way around, a cut here all the way around, and a cut here all the way around. You would discard the point from here forward, and you would discard from here to here, this middle part, and you wanted to keep from here back and keep the ring. Not only that, the OD was not the correct size to fit the Daymaker like ring, so you had to open that up with a Dremel tool as well. The danger, of course, was the thickness of this ring is critical, and if you remove too much material, you just wasted time. You got to throw this away, order another light and start over, and one of these will set you back about $100. So it's a costly mistake if you made that. And of course, our new kit eliminates all of that. So guys, I appreciate you watching the video. If you guys like it, please give it a thumbs up. These kits are going to look great on your bike, your Voyager or Vaquero. The Engineered Adapters kit just makes life much easier on getting them installed. So you guys give us a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to the video. I'd appreciate that. Check out the website, engineeredadapters.com. Facebook's /Engineered Adapters. I'm always on the message boards. If you guys got any questions, hit me up on there.